Welcome, everyone. Dr. Anthony, creative fourth here, also known as Dr. Finance. And today's episode, we're going to learn on how to make a penny, folks. That's right, a penny, one penny, turn into a very large multi-million-dollar number in 31 days. And it's very straightforward, folks. What I'm going to teach you really about today is time value of money and compounding, a beautiful force in finance and mathematics. So to get started, I'm going to show you some basic math formulas and things like that, but we're also going to have a discussion on it. And it doesn't matter if the penny's on heads or tails, by the way. Either way, it still can happen. As long as you got a penny and it performs under these certain operations that we're going to do today, it will result in a number that's a very large number. So I'm not going to spoil it. So stay tuned, folks. And before we do that, you're probably wondering how cool this new cup is that I have here, folks. If you'd like to purchase this cup, you can easily do that through my website. This is my website, actually. So you go to drfinance.info, and it's very easy. Once you go to drfinance.info, at the top you'll see the button store, and it'll take you to store. Just click that link. It goes straight to the store. Okay. So here is the link at this moment. And if you scroll down, I mean, there's all different kinds of stuff, not just mugs, but I have also some really cool shirts and shoes and hats, things like that. So you can go through by accessories. You can click the homeware tab at the top. Another way to really sort this out, or pets. I even got one little pet t-shirt with a quote on as well. So, and then drinkware mugs is how you get to this mug that I have. So you just click drinkware mugs and boom, there you go. I got several options, one with a quote as well. So now what I'd like to do, folks, is to show you guys some really, really cool stuff. Now, you might not be interested in the math part of this, and that's okay. You're not being graded on this. This is really just a fun video. I want to showcase some of the cool, very important stuff in finance and do it through illustrating some really interesting conclusions. And this penny example is a perfect example. It's amazing how you could turn this little object, this one penny, into a very large number very quickly. And it's through the power of compounding that we talked about. Okay. And the thing about this exercise, though, is that we're going to make some assumptions. So remember, we're using the rate of return is 100%. That means we're basically going to double this penny. We're going to do it for 31 days. This operates under a concept of in finance called time value of money, the value of money over time. So over time, money actually can go forward in time. It's called compounding, and it can grow exponentially. Okay, or it can go backwards in time. It's called discounting. All right. So if there's anything in here that you may get a little confused with, I just recommend just hear it all out, and you'll see the conclusions. I'll bring it back to a nice, simpler term afterwards. I'm not always going to be doing mathematical videos like this or compounding videos. Every now and then I will, because it is a part of finance, and I want to illustrate through a cool, different approach. So if you're maybe a podcast listener or one of my other videos that I've produced, just keep in mind that I'm not always going to do this, but I definitely encourage you to sit through this, because you'll get to see a different side of me. You'll get to see the mathematical side, the financial equational side, the university professor come out. So it's some really cool stuff, folks, and I'm sure everyone, if they spent the time and really got into it, would appreciate this, because you can apply this to a lot of different things beyond this conversation. Compounding, you can apply it to how to invest for retirement, right? So all the different categories of personal finance, retirement planning, college planning, legacy planning. So a lot, investment planning of all sorts. Okay, so compound interest, this force that works through this exercise I want to show you here, can be applied to so many different aspects. So it's very important to get. All right, so with that said, folks, let's begin. Let's take a look at, I'm going to share an Excel spreadsheet with you. All right, so you'll see most of the Excel spreadsheet. I'll keep myself minimized. Okay, here we go, folks. So I'm going to set this up. We're gonna do a we're gonna do the long way first, not the longest way, but the average, like the mid-ground way, and then I'm gonna show you a shortcut after. But before we do anything, I want to just prep you with the basics of this all. Okay. So in my first book, I'm sorry, my first book called The Necessity of Finance, I actually have a chapter on time value of money. It's chapter 31. Okay, chapter 31. And in chapter 31, there are formulas. Okay, these are all time value of money formulas. If I highly recommend this book. If you can't afford, I think we're up to $9, $10 for the printed book. The digital copy is about $1 or $2 at this point. So it's definitely accessible. Go to Amazon or anywhere that sells books. You should be able to get it. If not, ask them. Tell them you want this book. So I have the formulas here. And one of those formulas we're going to use is the foundation of everything we're going to do today. We're not going to do formulas. It would take way too long. But I want you just to show you this formula where it says FV. That's the one formula. It's one line. Future value equal present value times 1 plus the interest rate over N, which is the period. This could really be confusing you at this point, but it's a simple formula. I'll do it on a whole different video. But that's the basis of what's going on. And in plain English, it is the amount that we have right now where we have to keep the same number and also add in the interest of it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how that works in just a second. Now remember, this is all based on 100% rate of return, which is essentially in plain English doubling. Whenever you hear the expression, we're going to double that, right? So double 1, it's 2. Double 2, it's 4. That's 100% return, though, when you double it. We don't think of it like that, but it's 100% return. Okay, but when you add when you have just 100% return, you have to add it back to the original number to get the double. So let me show you how that works, and then show you how this penny can actually turn into a ridiculously large number. It's over 10 million. I'll give you a little hint. Not the exact number, but I'll give you a little hint. It's really big in 31 days. Now, the first thing you want to do, and this is kind of an Excel worksheet exercise as well. So I'm teaching a little bit about Excel while I'm also teaching you about compound interest. This is a double learning lesson at the same time. So just follow along. All right, you can just line them up. Day 1, day 2, day 3. I've already set the 2 columns up. I got a day column and an amount column. That's all we need for now for this exercise. Day 3, day 4. Now I can do this 31 times, but let me show you a shortcut. All we have to do here in the cell block, this is the beautiful thing about Excel. You can really multiply things really fast. Okay, so folks, to do this, we have to do the prior cell. In Excel, you have everything's based on cells, so it's aligned. So when you identify a specific cell, you call it by its alphabetical letter first, and then the number afterwards. So in this, the number day 5 here is actually A6, okay? Because it's A and then 6, and right where those 2 meet is A6, okay? See that? All right, so what we're doing here, I'm going to show you a shortcut of how to add numbers before we get into the compounding stuff. So instead of just writing this all out, it's a lot faster, trust me. So we're going to do cell block A6 plus 1. You with me so far? This you can do this for budgets. You can do this for anything in your life. And that's the amazing part about Excel. So now watch this now. I'm going to save so much time. You ready to save time? I hit copy, and I'm going to paste it. And look what happens. It added 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So I could have went the whole way, but I just want to show you real quick. If you look at what happened here, when you go to number 7, you click on the cell, it says A7 plus 1. Number 8 is A8 plus 1. 9 is A9 plus 1, and 10 is A10 plus 1. It actually automatically puts the formula in here, and every one of these cell blocks is not a number, and that could be a drawback. It depends on what you're trying to do. In this case, I'm trying to save time. I just want to create a nice systemized, like really quick way of putting 31 numbers in and as days. So for this exercise, it really would save a lot of time. But if you were trying to calculate like a math problem or something, it might be better just to put the straight up number in this cell. So I want to fill this up as fast as possible. So I'm going to grab the last number, which is in cell block A11, it's day 10. And I'm going to go from A12 all the way. I'm just going to put a whole bunch of them in and see what happens at first. All right, so we have, okay, and then I went to, so I missed it a little bit, did it on purpose. I want to show you, in case you happen to miss, you just go, I need 2 more to make 31 days. So I just fill it in, right click. I know you can't see my hand, but you right click and paste, and there you go. Now I got 31 days. Now I want to manually check this to be sure though. So let's go back and we'll count it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just we'll just keep doing that. Okay, so they're all checked. We have 31 days. We're halfway done that one part of the exercise. Now we're going to get to the amount. So what exactly are we doing? We're starting with a penny. So a penny is 0.01. Okay, 1 cent. This is an important number. It's so important because it's the basis of this whole conversation is built on 1 penny. Okay, and what I'm going to do also, I'm going to highlight the column B and put it in dollar amounts. So to remind us that we're dealing with money here. Okay, so we have everything set up to demonstrate how we could turn a penny into a large amount of money in 31 days. That's the longest of our calendar months. Okay, so the amazing part about this is that the magic really don't kick in even until like week 3. So this can be very hard to believe until you go to distance. So bear with me, folks, because it seems like it just doesn't work until you get to a certain tipping point, and then it just goes exponential. And that's the whole power of compounding, exponentiality. All right, so how do we do this? Well, I could easily just I could do this. I can do 0.01 plus 0.01. I'm sorry. You have to put an equal sign in here, folks. Okay, that shows that you're telling Excel you have a problem and you want it to be solved. So boom, put the equal sign in there. 0.01 plus 0.01, 1 penny plus a penny, because we doubled it, right, is 2. Now I don't even have to put the time value of money problem in here because we're actually doing this sort of the long way, right? This is how this problem would be solved without doing the formula per se. I'm writing it down by hand. So we can continue to do this strategy, or to make it more effective, right? Which is what utilizing the strengths and the power of Excel would require of us, should be, right? What we should be doing using such a powerful tool. What we need to do to really take the benefit and save time is to put the formula in the cell block of the next one, and then just copy that and watch what happens. All right, so so we'll go back now. I just want to show you how you can do that manually. You can do it like that, where you just put a penny plus a penny, and you got your answer, right? But we're not doing it. We're going to do it faster. So how do we do that? We hit equal, cell block B2, and it's really simple, folks, times 2. See that? We got the answer, times 2. Now, times 2 is actually 200% rate of return. But we're only making 100% rate of return. But why 200? Because the formula of how to actually calculate this manually is you take the present value and you multiply it by the rate of return, and you have to add, it's 1 plus that number. So you have to add back the original number. Let me just show you the formula one more time. Okay, folks, so I actually put the formula here just for reference. So it's future value equals present value times 1 plus the interest, and that's over n, which is n is the number of periods. So this case is 31 periods, but it's actually 30 periods. I'll explain. It's 31 days, but it's 30 periods because the first period was a penny. So the penny was not double. The penny was actually placed on day one. The doubling happened by the time you got to the next day. Okay, so that's the formula, and that's essentially what we're doing here. So when we are timesing it by 2, we're taking the penny, we're keeping the penny, we're making sure the penny's still in the formula, plus we're adding the interest rate of 100%. Basically, it doubles, so it's times 2. It's just a shortcut way to do it, okay? Because 1 plus 1 really, all right? So present value is a penny times 2. Now, look, if we did, just to show you what I'm talking about, if we did times 1, what happens? We're not going anywhere. We can copy this cell block 30 times, and by the time the 31st day of the month, you're still going to have a penny. You wouldn't even have budged at all. So 1 cannot be what we're timesing it by, right? That's just the way math works. Anything times 1 is still the same number. So it has to be times 2, which means you double it because it's 100% of the original number. All right, so now what happens in day 2? I'll do one by one until we get to a certain point. I'll show you, okay? So day 3, I copy and paste it here, and what happens? Day 3 is 4 cents. All right, so it's cell block B3 times 2, so 2 cents times 2. All right, so let's review where we are so far, so you understand what's going on. You got started on day 1 times as a penny. 100% return means it's doubling that. A penny, 2 pennies. Day 3, 4 pennies. All right. So we're going to copy it again. What happens? I'm sorry. Day 1, a penny. Day 2, a penny. 2 pennies. Day 3, 4 pennies. Day 5, 8 pennies. We doubled it again. This is very easy to get confused with this. So I'm trying my best to not confuse you guys. It can be very confusing, but once you got it, it's essentially it's pretty good. And even then, you still have to double check your work. Always double check your work. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, day 5 is 16 cents. Day 6 is 32 cents. You don't really even need formulas to do this, right? We could do this all in our head. 32, 64, that's next, and it just keeps going. At a certain point, you will need it. So here we are. Let's review. We're a week into this. 31 days is roughly 4.5 weeks. A week into it, we only took a penny to 64 cents, and you're not impressed. You shouldn't be, because we made 64 cents. Like, who cares, right? But watch, just wait. I'm telling you, it's going to get really interesting. So 64 cents. And now I don't have to do this every day by day, but I just want to show you how this grows, okay? $1.28 in day 8, day 9, 256, day 10, 512, day 11, 1024. I'm taking my time with this because I want you to slowly see what's happening for future. This will be a one out of, I think I'm planning a 3 video series with this. And it's very important we get the basics down first, okay? So day 13, day 12 was $20.48. Day 13, $40.96. We're keep doubling. That's what we're doing. We're doubling it every day. If you look at the number before, it's half of what that day is. All right. So day 14, $81.92. Day 15, $163.84. So the end of week 2, which is here, day 14, we still didn't even hit $100 yet. $81.92. So it took 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and we still didn't hit $100. But one day over 2 weeks, and we broke $100. Not only we break $100, we almost got to $200. This is starting to be the tipping point for, like, I guess you could say, attractive profits. Okay, because it's more you know, we're talking about things that could pay bills now, right? Like in the first week, you couldn't pay bills with any, you can add up all of the numbers in the first week. And if you can pay one bill that you have, I'd be impressed, right? I don't think you could buy candy gum for a penny anymore. They used to have a penny gums at one point. So anyway, all right, day 16, 327.68. Now this could be a lot of bills for somebody. Day 17, 655.36. In some parts of the country, that's called rent. We're now up to rent paying. Okay, so it's growing. Day 18, look at this. It's tipping now. 1310.72. We're up to over $1,000. It took 18 days. 18 days. That's 2.5 weeks to get past 1,000. So we still have, if you look at where we're at right now, we still have about 2 weeks left. How are we going to get past 1 million, let alone, I gave you a hint, over 10 million? Just wait, folks. Day 19, $2,621.44. All right. Day 20, that original penny is now $5,242.88. Day 21, $10,485.76. You see, remember, it's doubling. So it doubled from the day before. Each number that I'm giving you is 2 times the number from the day before. It's operating at 100% rate of return. Okay, day 22, $20,971.52. Day 23, $41,943.04. All right, day 24, $83,886.08. Let's just pause for a second. So day 21 marked the 3-week mark. All right, it took roughly 2 weeks to get, if you go back up here, 2 weeks to get to over, a little over 2 weeks to get to over $100, and to get to over $10,000 was 3 weeks. Okay, so in 3 weeks, day 21, over $10,000. So it seems like every week we're kind of going up a digit or two. All right, so this is where the exponentiality kicks in, because 3.5 weeks, we're now approaching the 100,000 mark, and we will surpass it on day 25. So on day 25, we made over 100,000 in one day. Okay, $167,772.16 in one day. In one day, we made that much money. Okay, because just from doubling. Day 26, we double that again. $335,544.32. Day 27, $671,088. All right. See, these numbers get confusing after a while, right? $671,088.64. I talk fast, folks. I apologize. All right. Day 28, this is what happens. We hit the $1 million mark. We hit the million. It took 28 days, folks. This is a highlighted point here, a highlighted moment. So let me mark that. 28 days, we hit the million mark. $1,342,177.28. Okay, so here, by now the proof is already there. What's going on? What happens after this point is just nothing share of amazing. This has enough proof here to demonstrate the power of compounding. Okay, so we have 3 more days left in this month, and watch what happens. This is the amazing part right here. All right. Day 29, $2,684,354.56 in one day. All right, day 30, $5,368,709.12. Okay, folks, and here is the amazing number that you all been waiting for. 10,737,418.24. Folks, all from a penny. Let's review this real quick. So let's just go back to day one and just watch how the numbers rise. Start small. It took to day 11 to hit double digits. By day 20, day 21, we're into the 10,000s. We hit 1 million on day 28, million plus. And day 31, we're hitting 8 digits, folks. 8 digits. 7 digits is single millionaire, and then 8 digits begins at 10 million and actually goes up until 100 million. So there's a wide range there. Well, we hit the 8-digit mark at day 31, and that's just amazing, folks. So that's how much you'll make with 1 penny. $10,737. I'm sorry, $10,737,418.24. So, folks, now what I'm going to show you is how to do the shortcut. So I showed you the long way, not the longest way. The longest way is the formula, and the hardest way to do it is to actually get a pen and paper and write out the calculations one by one, and do this 31 times. And to really get the same look that and conclusions we have right here. There are faster methods, way faster, but you're not going to learn the mechanics of it by going straight to the fast method. That's why I wanted to show you at least a middle ground method, okay, so you can kind of understand what's going on here. Now, you're not being graded on this or anything, but this is really cool just to show you that you can calculate this. Let's just say method 2 on Excel. There's several different ways you can calculate. You can use spreadsheets, the formula, but here in Excel, there's a shortcut. So you actually can do, there's a function. See that FX at the top? That FX, you click that function, and it actually will give you any kind of calculation that they have in here. You can do it manually. So I already have the numbers plugged in. I'm going to show you how this works, and there's an important component to understand as well. So hit the function button. You're going to be given a few options. So rate, you put 100% in there. Now we talked about this on the last video. When using Excel, if you don't put that percent, your number is going to be really messed up. Now watch what happens. So if I take the percent out, you get an error message because the number is just too large, because it's really messing up their system. They need to know it's a percent to deal with it. So you put percent for rate. Rate is the I, or interest rate, and it's 1. Remember, 1 is actually, when converted to a percent, is 100%. All right, because 1, and you move the 2 digits over to the right, and it's 100%. So that's the rate. NPR here, also known as N, which is the time period. And one of the things that I got to highlight here, because it can be very confusing, is to put 30 in. I know it's 31 days, but the mechanics of what's going on here, we started with a penny the first day, so we actually didn't do anything to it until day 2. So it's 30 days of compounding in this case. All right. So we're going to use the N period. The time frame is actually, we're going to put it for 30. All right, because that's the interest building on top of the original number, 30 for 30 periods. Now, present value, we have negative 0.01. It's a penny. The reason it's negative, it's just really mechanics, folks. It's in order for the system to work, they put it as a negative so that the future value becomes a positive. It's how things balance out. So that's all you have to remember, is to just make it a negative number so that the future value can come out positive. When you did your manual calculations, you wouldn't do it. Only for like Excel and the calculator. All right, so 0.01 is a penny. Penny is 1 cent. That's 1/100th of a dollar. Okay, so 0.01, and in this case negative. That's the present value. That's what we got right now. We got a penny right now. I have this penny right. You're looking at this penny right now. this moment, this present moment when I made this recording. In this case, you're watching it right now at your present moment. I got 1 penny. That's my present value. Now, if I do everything I say that should be done in this video, and I can double this for 31 days, then if I made a video, let's say 31 days from now, and this doubled, the next video you will watch, I'd have almost $11 million. But right now, in this present moment, I only have a penny. That's why it's a present value. It's 0.01. So once we got all that, we hit OK, and it calculated for us. That's the future value. Same number. Now, this is why I'm doing it again, folks. I want to just show you that it's really a check and balance to make sure that we didn't make a mistake. And we could. We're dealing with big numbers. So this number needs to match the number we came up with, the first number. And it does. It's the same number. I'm actually going to move this up to 3 places. Let's see. Okay. Paste. Oh, sorry. Move this down a little bit more. Okay, just to line it up, I wanted to show you. All right, so this number matches this number. It's the same number, $10,737,418.24, and it's a go. First method is verified by the second method, and let's do this on a calculator. So let me show you how that's done. So I use HP10B2 Plus calculator. I've been using this for many, many years. I had the original, which was just the 10B, like back in college many years ago. So it's essentially the same thing. Now, let me see if I can. Okay, so what you do is for your N, you're going to put 30. See that? 30 for N. And then we hit N, you hit N, and then you put 100, 100, and we put that in this box right here, this button, IYR is interest per year. All right, so we're saying 100% a year, 30, 30, well, a day in this case, whatever the period is. In this case, it's a day. 100% a day for 30 days. And we're starting out with 0.01 negative, 0.01 negative. We're gonna hit present value. There's no payment here. It's not one of those kind of problems. And then all we have to do is hit future value. And that's it, folks. See that number? That's it. That's the number. $10,737,418.24, verified by both of these other methods on the screen. So if we could do, we can check on the spreadsheet. There's a spreadsheet that you can use to check this number as well. We can check it manually, but really, if two methods show the same number, in this case we use 3 methods, that's the answer. That's most likely the answer. We did something right. So that's it, folks. That's how you turn a penny into a very large amount of money, almost $11 million on day 31. It's just amazing. So that's it, folks. That's really it. I just wanted to show you the magic of compounding. So as you can see, in 1 month, 1 31-day month, we took a penny to a very astronomical number, almost $11 million. And it's just amazing that this can happen. This is how you can make a lot of money, folks, if you understand compounding. But now I taught you today how to take a penny and make it into almost $11 million in 31 days. But what I didn't teach you today is how to make 100% rate of return. So it's a totally different conversation. All right, so everything here is completely possible under the assumption that you made 100% rate of return. Making 100% rate of return is very, very difficult to do, folks. It's very difficult to do. Totally possible, but very difficult. The stock market average over the past maybe century or so has probably been around 10% a year. There are other investments out there that, like real estate, that have pretty much commanded those kind of returns. Businesses, certain businesses can make a lot of money. If you enter an investment at a certain point, you can make a lot of money, but you have to know when to time the market, and that's very hard to do. So historically speaking, the average investment return for long-term investments is 10%. So making 100% for the long term is very, very hard to do. So I just have to put that caveat out there. This is just the magic, showing you the magic of compounding. It can happen if you earn 100% return. Of course, this is ignoring taxes and all that other stuff, because that would chop those percentages down a lot. And if you even chopped it down even 50%, okay, and not 100%, those numbers would take a lot longer to kick in. So how to make 100% return, we'll leave that for another video. So I want to thank everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed this interesting video. And this will be a part one. This is part one of two, maybe 3-part series, because there is some interesting other aspects to this conversation that can really be expanded on and highlight some really important points about math and finance from a numerical standpoint, specifically time value of money problems. Okay, so folks, I just want to also add that this is a you know, I don't really do too many of these videos. I will be doing a few in the future from time to time if it makes sense. But I'll be spreading out a lot of my videos I'll be doing between these kind of situations and more qualitative conversations, specifically dealing with business and entrepreneurship and all that. But we're going to tie it all into finance. These are all just little pieces of the puzzle. Finance is a very big subject, folks. It incorporates a lot of different micro subjects. So the key is to get as many lessons from different aspects as possible. And if you want to learn more about what I do, folks, you can check out my 3 books. In particular, the first book, The Necessity of Finance, really applies to today's lesson, because I go into time value of money in detail and some other aspects relating to mathematical problems and rate of return. Okay, so again, thank you, folks. Appreciate everybody. Dr. Anthony, creative fourth year, also known as Dr. Finance. And if you want to learn more about me, go to drfinance.info, and you can purchase any of my books there, or the products from my store as well. My 3 books, The Necessity of Finance, I wrote that in 2013, and almost 11 years, actually. So amazing. The most important lessons in economics and finance the year after, and then The Survival of the Richest book in 2016. Thanks again, folks, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hope you enjoy your day. Bye-bye now.